Well, what I think is intriguing about our friend Martin Luther King is his willingness to step up on the intellectual stage, on the international stage, on the national stage, and join other people who have spoken for us at certain times. Let's consider Thomas Jefferson. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands that have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. He basically says, you know, we feel that people might want to know why we're making these changes, why we're declaring independence. And then, of course, says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They're endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We skip forward 87 years, otherwise known as 77 years. Along comes Lincoln and says, our fathers brought forth in this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated the proposition that all men are created equal. It's a callback to our friend Thomas Jefferson from Lincoln. What happens then when Martin Luther King steps on the stage? He says, 50 years ago, clearly a reference to Lincoln's language, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand signed the Emancipation Proclamation. And so he puts his speech in that context, which is quite intriguing. And then says later, but 100 years later, we must face the tragic fact that the Negro is still not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation, etc. So what's intriguing here is, you know, Martin Luther King being willing to stand up on that stage and say, here's the punctuation from Thomas Jefferson, here's the punctuation from Lincoln. I'm making some punctuation here and saying, how are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? This speech, you know, is 1963. This is a long time ago. How are we doing? Well, we're doing better, but we're not done. Another thing I appreciate is his letter from Birmingham jail, where he talks about the insidious quality of the moderate who wants change but without any discord, without any disagreement. And takes an intellectual position, plays the academic role, plays an intellectual role, and stakes out territory in the intellectual milieu. So I think we see here Dr. Martin Luther King acting like a doctor, being a professor, being, you know, playing a role in the intellectual framework of the culture. And being in a position to do that and take that role and take that stand is a very powerful thing. And I think we're indebted to him for that, among other things. So that's my comment.